every level of hitting, and Greenwood's just not coming around. And you want to peak at the end of the year. Baseball is like a merry-go-round. It goes up and down. It has its peaks and valleys, and Greenwood will get it. And you hope what we do. It's just we're still in the hunt, and we have an opportunity to play postseason because our best at bats, our best offense is yet to come.
Looks like Mitchell's going to be in left field for today's ball game, or this game 2 of this doubleheader. Brown is in center. Oaf is in right.
And I just text you Russellville's lineup.
Weaver is at third base. Let's see here. Elliott is at second base, and Jerica is going to be the DH in the 4 hole. So Austin Mitchell, the freshman, is going to get a shot at it here in game 2. We've seen Courtesy run some, but going to get in there a chance. Brewer will probably do some running himself here in game 2. Russellville won game 1 4-2. They're now 2-1 in conference. Greenwood drops to 1-2 in conference play. Need to get a split here, and Reed Carroll, probably number 2 on the staff right now as far as numbers go.
Yeah, and Jerica, we talked about him not having his best stuff. His velocity was talked to some guys that had the gun on him that game. He was 82 to 84, and usually he's 86, 87, can touch 88, and you think maybe he's had the back issues that he just wasn't right, and when he does, he's unhittable. So you didn't get his best game, and you still had a chance to win. You got to take advantage of Russellville's errors. They had 3 errors, 4 if you count the one that the catcher should have had that didn't, and you didn't. You didn't take advantage of those. So Greenwood's got to do a better job putting the ball in play hard and getting around the bases.
Russellville will lead off to start game 2 here. It'll be the pitcher in game 2's Luke Ray. He was at second base in game 1. He's a right-handed bat, and he will lead off for the Cyclones. White trousers for Russellville, road black tops. Cyclones in red and cursive across the front. First pitch swinging for Luke Ray's up over the top of the backstop. Foul ball, strike 1. Reed Carroll and his battery mates, Dylan Strozier again.
He's been explosive on the mound with his fastball. He's been mid-50s and something that has got a little movement, and his curveball breaks. He's been a pleasant surprise on the mound.
That one's late and out of play. Hit a little harder, but out of play, a right field side down the line. Foul ball, 0-2.
Reed's got one of those guys that I think as he matures and, gets older, right now he's 86 to 88. He'll be one of those guys that you see when he goes and plays at college that gets into the 90s throwing.
Here's the 0-2. Outside, Strozier knocked it down. 1-2. To Luke Ray, he's the pitcher in game 2 for the Cyclones. Righty-righty matchup here, top of the first. Carroll in behind the glove, shakes off Strozier, now comes ready, here it is. Fastball, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1 for Reed Carroll.
You don't have to worry about playing defense if you strike everybody out.
Absolutely. Here's Brady Burnett. He's playing second base here in game number 2 for the Cyclones. Well, I say he is. They got 2 guys down for second base on their lineup. So we'll figure out here in a minute who's really at second base.
Who do they have?
Hips and Burnett.
Gotcha.
1 ball count to Burnett. That one's laced but foul to the right side.
The good part about in high school having a guy with velocity, we see the first 2 batters are just way behind on the fastball. And so the first time through the lineup, you expect most of them to be that way. Gets ahead with his fastball, closes them out with his curveball. As long as he's throwing strikes, he'll be very effective.
1-1. Carroll peers in. Here it comes to Burnett.
Boom.
That's in there for a called strike.
New umpire, always anxious to see what we get.
Yep.
With a different blue behind the plate.
Right. Here's the 1-2 to Burnett. And Carroll brings it home, and it bounced in. Ball 2.
Outfield playing pretty straight up. Right field a little shallow.
Lady Bulldogs won 12-2 in their opener against Russellville across the way. So good opening to conference for Coach Saki and the girls. And he got him outside Black Carroll with a fastball. Got him looking back-to-back Ks for Reed Carroll. Here's Bucher now.
Man, if you're a hitter and that strike is going to be called all night, it's going to be a pitcher's night tonight.
Yes.
I think that was a baseball and a half off the plate.
That one's high. Another fastball to Bucher. 1 ball count to the DH for Russellville. 2 outs for the Bulldogs here, top of the first. Reed Carroll kicks and fires. That's lifted up in the air and back out of play. Off with the helmet. Strozer's watched her fly over. That mullet's prime time as well. We talked about Newman for Russellville and also Monday over at first base, but Strozier flowing locks. I know that Brother Dealer on the PA is kind of jealous. Fouled off into the first base dugout. Bucher with a 1-2 count. Ugh. You probably used to have something like that back in the day, huh? Yeah. Brother Ronnie Deal, pastor at First Baptist Church here in Greenwood, does the PA for the Bulldogs most every game. Great job. We have a good time up here. Here's the 1-2 to Burnett. That's outside. I beg your pardon, that's Bucher. I'll get it right in a minute. 2-2 now.
Yeah, we did. To me, just throw the fastball by him. I mean, you don't want a guy that's behind anyway. Let his bat catch up with an off-speed pitch. Just blow it by him.
Here it is. And he did. He tried. He chopped it foul into the netting towards the dugout, third base side. We'll do it again. You figure Hips might be playing shortstop. That's what we're missing on their lineup here, is somebody that's short.
Well, with 3 errors from the Burnett at short, you may see him move to second.
Yeah, that's true. 2-2 again. Reed up behind the glove. He peers in for the Bulldogs. Tim Terry, Keith Holt bringing the action here in this doubleheader. Just missed outside. Full count to Shane Bucher, the Russellville DH. And the payoff pitch, top of the first. Just missed outside. It's a 2-out walk for Bucher. And Wheelis will come in.
And I was wrong earlier. We talked about they were junior laden. Well, they're senior laden. I forgot all about last year because we didn't get to play it. But pretty much the entire infield is loaded with seniors. I think Bucher is a junior, and he's kind of next in line to be at a shortstop, middle infield place. But it's just right now it's laden with seniors.
Here's Carroll from the stretch, and he'll come home with it outside to Wheelis, ball 1.
I think he got that first call on the outside part, and he's trying to pepper it, and he's just missing a little bit further outside than he needs to.
Right. Here's 1 ball to Tristan Wheelis. Tried it again. He called that one without a point outside or a strike. Okay.
Is he just pointing? Is it confusing you?
Well, yeah. I like that. Looked like he might have been saying it was too far outside, but it was just a little point. Here's 1-1. Yep, I heard it that time. Now I heard him. 1-2.
It's not very animated. I want to see a guy back there with a little sauce.
Yes. 1-2. Like Leslie Nielsen on Naked Gun?
Yeah, well, not that much sauce.
Oh, okay. Here's the 1-2. Shot foul on the right side, out of play. The rocket.
See, and this is the top of their lineup, and they're all behind on his fastball. I just want to see us just go at them and get in on their hands, dare them to hit the fastball, because Reed right now, it looks like he's amped up, throwing mid to high 80s.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Tristan Wheelis. He's their catcher in this game. Stevens looks like he's over at third base, according to their lineup. Curveball stayed upstairs.
Talking to his dad, 85% of the time Stevens has been at third because they're just trying to fill their infield the best possible that Wheelis is not a natural third baseman.
Okay.
And so I guess who do they have at catcher?
Wheelis.
At Wheelis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-2. Runner at first, 2 outs. Just missed.
And he keeps missing that same spot, just a
Exactly.
little bit outside.
And another payoff for the Cyclones. Runner gets a lead. He'll get an early break, and he did. That's fouled straight back into the netting. Hit the reverse gears.
It's been awful quiet. Both teams, coming from guys that love baseball, professional, old school guys that aren't going to do a lot of jawing back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Full count again from the stretch. Reed Carroll up on top for Greenwood. Still in the top of the first, no score. There's 2 outs, couple of strikeouts, a 2-out walk, and there's a shot just foul again. A little late, Wheelis.
I would expect to see a curveball coming right here.
Nice. Checking in on the Crowder Rough Riders payday having today, another double for the ice cream man.
I have to be sure and check after his at-bats. I'm not allowed to watch his at-bats anymore.
Probably for good reason.
Yes.
Full count, 2 outs here in the top of the first. Carroll from the stretch. He comes set up top, and here it is. Again, fouled out of play. Poor old Bucher's like either strike out or get a hit. I'm running 70 feet, full speed. I got to go back every time.
I want to see him come with a curveball. The pitcher is throwing the same speed. The hitter's getting his timing down, fouling those pitches off. I'd like to change his eye level, change the speed. I wish he'd break one off right here.
3-2, here it comes.
Got him.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I guess that's just outside.
No, Tim, that was the same pitch earlier that we said was a ball off. That was the exact same spot.
Yeah, those were just outside as well. But they were called strikes.
Yes. Yes.
So back-to-back walks, and here's Hips now, who I figure will be their shortstop. But they've got second base on their lineup. Here comes the courtesy runner. We saw this guy. It's Trey
Potter.
He'll run for the catcher, Wheelis.
Again, walks and strikeouts. They've had a lot of strikeouts. Greg Maddox didn't have a lot of strikeouts and always kept pitch count low because he got ground balls. That's the only thing about this inning that's bad is the amount of pitches that he's thrown.
And there's a shot to left. Mitchell's on his horse, and it's going to get down and score 1 run for sure. They're going to hold the runner at third, and it's a double RBI for Hips.
That's a good piece of hitting. Got a fastball over the inner half. Just turned, put a good bat on it.
Yep. Wheelis' courtesy runner, Potter's at third now. And it's Whitford, Braden Whitford. He's their first baseman. 2-out rally. Curveball just high.
Ooh. That looked like a good pitch. And we've always said this since we've called together, just be consistent.
Right.
I mean, if both ways the whole game, I know it's easy for us to say sitting up here. But
Yes. Whitford's their first baseman. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Couple of strikeouts to the first 2 batters, and Carroll looked like he was on cruise control. Then walks. They get you. An RBI double. And it's 1-0 Russellville. Still with 2 outs. A huge 2-out rally here for the Cyclones. In the top of the first. That one stayed way upstairs. 2-1. Runners at second and third for Russellville. Carroll from the stretch. He'll come set. And Reed brings it home. That one bounced in. Good job of Strozier to knock it down. Whew. Burnett had wandered a little bit. Or that's a Potter, the courtesy runner, had wandered from third. Strozier tried to corral it. get
I
a
thought he was
shot
gonna.
at
Yeah, I
it.
thought he took off too far. He saw the down angle.
Yep.
Strozier did an excellent job of keeping it in front of him.
Here's the 3-1 now to Whitford. Swing and a miss. He knew something was coming down the middle and home run a hack at it, just couldn't connect. Full count, 2 outs. And Braden Whitford way up to the backstop, and it got a good bounce, and it came right back to Strozier. He's going to throw down to second. Luckily, it was an on-line throw as the runners were going to try to advance. The ball carried him right back to Strozier, and we've got bases loaded now, another walk.
And that's deceiving at this park too, with the concrete back. Even though it is 30 feet, if it hits it in the air, it's going to come back fast.
Here's Brant Stevens with the bases loaded. He's over at third base here in game 2. Trying to get some interest out of Carl Albert and Eufus at catcher, I think. Maybe why they put him at catcher in game 1. I think the Vikings need a catcher over there.
He'll be able to catch Reed some. I don't know if Reed's going to be multi-position, if he's going to be just a pitcher, if he's going to be a position player.
2 outs.
If he doesn't want to pitch, you better be careful because he looks like a pretty good one.
Yes. Strike call to Brant Stevens. That's the one that would have been third strike earlier.
Oh, yeah.
And out of this inning. 0-1. Here it comes. That's outside.
When walks and throwing a lot of pitches is off, the only thing that you can't get any rhythm offensively, too. Greenwood's the defensive players, they haven't moved. They just sit out there, and then you're going to ask them to sit out there for 15 minutes and then come in and get ready to hit.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike to Stevens for Russellville. It's high and tight, 2-1. Carroll having trouble getting this third out. Struck out the first 2 batters. Walk, walk, double, walk. Here comes the 2-1. That one went to the backstop. Again, bounced back fortuitously right to Strozier. It's 3-1. No place to put him. Got to come with a strike. Bases loaded. Top of the first, still 1-0 Cyclones. A chance for a huge inning. A base hit would blow this thing open for a minute. Here it is. And it's too high.
And for all you guys wondering, you basketball people, to me, it's being a pitcher, it's kind of like shooting a technical foul. It's no one around you. You're the only one there. You control what happens to that ball. And it's not as easy as it sounds with no one around you. So, the pitcher out there, especially bases loaded, it's all in your hands.
Yep. Mikado making a trip to the mound for Greenwood. Brings the whole infield in. Visits with Reed Carroll. Slap on the backside. The sun peeking through the clouds now, so it's going to affect the right side. Oaf might have a little issue with a low liner. Drew Elliott at second. A little bit of sun peeking through.
Yeah, you can see him shading his eyes.
Monday a bit at first. That pitch is high to Newman. Getting to see him bat here in game 2. Justice Newman. That's outside. 2-0. Carroll can't find the strike zone.
And
And Mikado's coming to get him.
Going to put Monday in.
Saw Monday heading to the dugout. And Reed couldn't get out of the first inning. Got a couple of outs right out of the gate. Looks like Elliott is going to head in too. We'll see what kind of changes get made here. We may see Elliott go to first base.
And Coach Mercado has to make a decision that affects the whole team. Do I see if he can find it, or do I think maybe he's not and then get somebody else a chance? Because, if he can't ever find it, if he lost it after those 2 strikeouts, then they're just going to it's going to be a merry-go-round.
Yep.
So, you never know. I mean, we'll know here in about 10 minutes if it's the right decision, but, Reed will never know what happened if he stayed out there.
Yeah. Here's Matt Mundy coming in to pitch for the Bulldogs. We're still on the top of the first. It's 2-0 Russellville. Bases loaded. We'll take a break and let Mr. Munday get loose here and bring you back to Greenwood after this timeout. Greenwood Sports Center Online and the Sports Hog 103.5. Just give me 30 seconds, please.
This is tough, too. You bring in a position pitcher that hasn't got loose, hasn't thrown anything in the bullpen. You get 8 pitches. Get loose. 8 pitches. They ought to make it to where you get at least 12 if you come in from a position. I know it takes longer, but if you're worried about kids' arms and stuff like you say you are.
We're back here in Greenwood Monday. We talked about Bull Durham earlier. He threw a couple to the backstop, hit the bull as he's gotten loose here. So, Keith, you make a good point. We talked about it during the break on the live stream. You only get 8 pitches if you come in from a position to get loose.
Yep, he's giving him 2 more, and it's tough to get loose in 8 pitches. I mean, that's why they call it a bullpen. You go down there and you stretch, you get loose, you try to break a sweat, and then, you throw 15, 20 pitches, you get to throw them all. And, Monday, it's special to be able to come in and find that rhythm on 8 pitches. Bases loaded, 2 outs, first inning, conference game.
So Carroll goes to second. And there's a little chopper to the first baseman who walks over and touches the bag as Andrew Elliott took over at first base. So 1 pitch, 3 unassisted. A little bit deceiving, but it's effective. They got 2 runs across in the top of the first. 1 hit. Can you believe that? And they left the bases loaded?
Yes, sir.
Well, we're half an inning in the books. 2-0 Russellville. Let's just stay right here. We just threw a break on the pitch and change. We'll stay here and talk about it.
Well, I hate it for Reed because Reed's competitive. He wants to have the ball and be able to affect the game. And, we still have yet to see what kind of philosophies and what's Mercado going to do because we didn't get to see him last year. And, he was just like, you know what? If you can't throw strikes, I'm going to go get somebody and see if they can.
So Hips is at second base. We were trying to figure out where they were going to be lined up. Burnett's at short. Let's see. Newman's heading out to right. We thought he would. And number 11, Wilkins, is probably in center field.
Yep, he's out there.
Golden is in left.
We need to control our own offensive destiny by hitting the ball. We still haven't had a rally that we started. Our rally last game was because of their errors.
Sure.
And Greenwood's going to have to figure out a way to put it together and piece together 3 or 4 hits to be able to carry any kind of momentum and score. Right now, hit that wire. There it goes. Whew. That's one thing we can't do is just wait for them to make an error before we start something.
Well, there's plenty of time to go here. We've got 21 outs. So we're down 2-0.
Man, this pitcher warming up has thrown 2 strikes out of his 8 pitches.
Luke Ray is on the bump for the Cyclones. He was at second base in game 1. So the lineup will be Caden Brown, Chance Oath, Matt Mundy, then Landry Jerica, Drew Elliott, Bryce Morgan moves up to the 6 hole. Reed Carroll batting 7th, Austin Mitchell in the 8 hole, and Hayden Weaver in the 9 hole. Jerica's the DH. Here's Caden Brown to lead it off for the Bulldogs, down 2-0 already here, bottom of the first. And the first one's over, but low over ball 1.
And you can tell they've got the scouting report on him. Third baseman's creeping 3 steps up on the grass, so they're not going to let him bunt for a hit.
Ray kicks and fires. That's in there for a called strike. Outer half of the plate. Old Glory's limped out in right field now. The wind has died down, so it's no excuses. Here's the chopper to the shortstop. 2 hops, nice glove over and got the Speedy Brown. Good dig at third as well. 6-3 on the putout. One down for Chance Oaf.
And you know you got Brown at the plate. I mean, you know you got to hurry and get rid of that ball.
Yep.
If not, it's a hit.
Burnett with a good job. Kind of got it between hops, too. Over to Whitford. Chance Oaf went with a big pimpin' walk-up music. So, good enough Jay-Z in your life, I guess. First one to Oaf is a ball.
Wow. That was the same pitch earlier. We saw a call for a strike.
Oaf's in right. Here's Ray kicking and firing. And Chance rips this one, but it's going to be pulled foul down the right field line. And strike one. Out there by the Phil sign. The Wobble Bobbers. Phil Wobble Bobbers if you're fishing.
Huh.
Pradco.
Yes.
Yeah, appreciate those guys. Wobble Bobber.
I love a foul ball like that because you have the dynamic is the hitter says, "Oh, I just missed it. I was on it," and the defense says, "Hey, you got to head with a strike."
Right.
Both of them try to find the positiveness in it.
Here's Ray bringing the 1-1 home to Oaf. Laced right at the shortstop. Nice job. Little line out. Oaf's hit the ball squarely last two at-bats in the bottom of the seventh in game one and then here, but that one was right at Burnett.
Well, I have a feeling this pitcher, we're going to hit him hard.
Yep.
We just got to quit hitting it to where they're at.
Right. We need some of them we're hitting Adam balls now.
Adams.
Here's Matt Mundy. He's in pitching now for Greenwood. And that one's outside in the dirt. Scurries back to the backstop for ball one. Jerica is out on deck. He's the DH here in game two. Here's the 1-0. There's a high chopper fair. Nope, they're calling foul. It was close. Mercado is still looking up. I would have thought he would have been a little more animated to go had he thought it was truly fair, but he's
I think he's I don't.
a little
I
puzzled.
just don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think he's animated. I think he knows it was fair. From where it looked like he was almost on the line, which means it had to go over the
right,
bag.
Absolutely. That's what Coach Mercado's talking to the third baseman Stevens over there.
Yeah, Stevens is telling him, yeah, that was fair. You're right, Coach.
Here's a 1-1. This one's fouled backwards, up over the top. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 2 outs here, bottom of the first. Cyclones lead 2-0. It's game 2 of the 5A West doubleheader. Glad to have you aboard here on Tuesday nights in Greenwood. Monday lifts this one in the air. Stevens have room at third. He drifts towards the dugout and did not. Saw him do that at the catcher's mitt on earlier, and that one he couldn't flag down either. I talked to his dad between games, Bobby, our old college buddy, and I told him we can't have any of that dropping an extra outs over there.
Well, we've seen what happens when you do. I mean, Monday just missed that. He's got his time, and he's seen the curveball. He's seen the fastball. So if things hold true, this one should be hit hard somewhere between the white lines.
Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see if Matt can square one up. Just upstairs. Little breaking ball.
I've heard before he's hit some over the batting cages in batting practice.
Here's a 2-2. It's just a little low. Everybody heading to the dugout, but home plate blue. Full count. I mean, the whole entire team was going for Russellville.
Well, and the catcher just turns and talks to the blue and asks him, and blue puts his hands on his hips. So you better throw this one over the plate, or it's not going to be a strike.
McCarty didn't like it. He came out. There's a ball lifted to left, and Monday get it all. It's up. Back goes the left fielder. She's out of here. A home run for Matt Monday. Oh, baby. That's our first long ball we've seen here in conference play.
Yeah, we talked about it. You miss a pop fly you should catch. You get a called strike that you didn't have. He has to throw it over the plate, and Monday made him pay.
And Coach McCarty's giving home plate blue all kinds of fits. It never fails. 2-1 now. The dinger for Monday, a solo shot. Here's Jerica, a guy who also has home run power. Let's see if Ray can serve him one up. That ball just got over the fence and left. That's inside, ball 1.
I got to use my home run graphic on my scoreboard.
Nice. Hopefully it won't be the last time.
I missed it. I'll have to go back and watch that.
2 outs.
Oh.
He offered and went 1-1. Couldn't hang on to that ball. It was a little high and outside.
I could have told him if they should have just walked him. I mean, so much bad had just happened. I mean,
Yes.
that's the only thing Monday could do was hit that out.
Right. I agree with you. And you know Stevens is kicking himself over there before the botched third strike call. Here's the 2-1 to Jerica. That one's up and over the top, fouled out of play. 2-2. Deuce is wild here, bottom of the first. Outside. Full count to Jerica. Drew Elliott's out on deck if Landry could keep the inning alive here. Bulldogs have cut the lead in half with a solo shot from Monday. And he got a piece of it fouled into the third base dugout. Scattered some Cyclones. Jerica senior heading to K-State. 3-2 now. 2 outs. Ray kicks and fires and got him swinging. So a strikeout to end the inning, but some damage was done. There was one hit, and it was a big one. A solo home run for Matt Monday, and the Bulldogs are on the board. It's 2-1. Russellville leads after 1 inning of baseball. In the 5A West here on Greenwood Sports Center online and the Sports Hog 103.5. Yes, sir.
Now, if we can score 1 every inning
We'll win.
and hold them to 2, we'll win.
Yes. It'll be 7-2. 6-2.
6-2, because we wouldn't bat the 7th
Right.
inning. So that's our goal. Just score 1 every inning.
Can you see if you scoot over any?
Yeah, do y'all need to?
Well, we're going to see if she can run the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to tell you that earlier.
No.
She's going to follow the ball.
We are back here in Greenwood. And we got celebrity in the house. Kennedy Holland will be running some camera work for you if you're watching the live stream. Making her to sing between innings.
Well, we always talk about in baseball, you make a diving catch, you make a good play, and you come up to bat, something good always happens. Well, let's see what happens when you hit a home run and go out and pitch.
Right. Monday came in relief for Reed Carroll at the top of the first, threw 1 pitch, got an out, and ended the Cyclones rally. And hit a dinger on a couple of bonus breaks. 2-1 Russellville. We're in the top of the second now. Tim Terry, Keith Holt, Sean Holland. Live in Greenwood. Spring break next Tuesday.
Softball playing next week, I guess. Are they going someplace to play?
Well, I'm fixing to tell you. It's a great question. Yeah, they're in a Farmington tournament on the 19th and 20th. No trip during the spring break. Monday's first one's inside and got away from Strozier. It's a ball to Wilkins, their center fielder, leading off the second. We've got at Van Buren on March the 30th will be our next broadcast of Greenwood Baseball. There's a chopper to the right side. Well done by
Harrison Adams.
that is Harrison Adams.
Playing second.
Yeah, number 8.
I guess
They
Reed
snuck
came
him
out.
in there. Yeah, so he pulled Reed. And Harrison with a nice little Sunday hop over to first for out number 1. That's 4-3. Here's Luke Ray, their pitcher. That's outside to him, ball 1.
Makes you wonder how'd that happen. Because didn't Reed go to second?
He
when
did.
Oh,
And
come
went
on,
inside on Ray, and he got out of the way. You don't want to hit their pitcher.
and this is the part where Greenwood's going to have to figure it out. You know, you get in the conference tournament, and we see that it's not how many it's not the type or quality of pitchers you have, it's how many of those. You know, you need 3 or 4 to make it deep.
Called strike. Yes, sir.
With Monday getting in early, it's going to be interesting to see where the bullpen's at.
2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out here top of the second for the Cyclones. No, I beg your pardon, there's 1 out. Yeah. Yes, the chopper to the second. 2-2 now to Luke Ray. Here comes Monday's kicking and firing.
Oh.
That one went about 50 feet, bounced in, full count. I mean, if you haven't seen Daisy Confused, old Mitch pitching for the locals down there in Texas. That's what Monday's hair looks like. What was Mitch's last name? Start with the M, didn't
I don't know it, but it'd be a lot cooler if I did.
Curveball got him.
And Strozier dropped the third strike. He'll throw down and complete it. So K2-3. 2 strikeouts of Luke Ray today. He struck out to start the ball game. Here's Brady Burnett.
We know Burnett's got some wheels. He'll put the ball in play.
Right. Burnett's a right-handed bat. There's 2 down and swings at first pitch. Not enough room, I don't believe, for Elliott, who's at first base. It's strike 1. Mitch Kramer. I'm Daisy Confused. Wiley Wiggins. Here's the 0-1. Curveball in the dirt. 1-1. Brady Burnett. There's a shot right at the second baseman. Hey, Harrison. Nice little glove. Line out.
No hits, no errors, no one left on base.
Yep, they went in order. In the second, did the Cyclones. Greenwood a chance to cut into this lead again here as we move to the bottom of the second. It's 2-1 Russellville. Greenwood Sports Center online and the Sports Hog 103.5. Yes, sir. Are we on anywhere AM, Bill, as well, or no? Okay. I'll give that some love, too. Uh-oh. Coming down.
I'm not sure that was on purpose. That's Wheeless behind the plate.
We are back here in Russellville, or in Greenwood, playing Russellville.
Wow.
Amazing. I've never been here before.
First time?
Yeah. Bulldog Diamond. 2-1 Cyclones lead. We're over on the AM as well, 1580 AM on the Sports Hog. Might even be able to check out sportshog1035.com if you want to. If you don't have any data or can't get the live streams to work, we're online over there as well.
I'm ready for us to spend some time while Greenwood bats, and talking. We haven't really got to talk because Greenwood, other than what Russellville's given us, we haven't had just a big inning where we've had 5 or 6 guys go up to the plate. I'm ready for that to happen.
Well,
Leading off for the Bulldogs, the first baseman, number 18, Andrew Elliott.
I thought I have Elliott striking out in the last inning, but maybe I'm wrong. What did I miss? Was that Jerica that struck out? It
Yes,
was?
Jerica.
All right. Here's a little chopper. Pitcher's got to come off the bump and field, throw to first just in time.
Ooh.
Almost still swinging bunt.
Yeah, that's a tough play for the first baseman, throwing up the line, runner coming at you.
Mm-hmm. So Elliott is out 1-3 for out number 1. There's Bryce Morgan up in the lineup a bit here in the 6th hole. 1 down, bottom second. Curveball's in there for a called strike. Somehow Bryce got in the batter's box quickly before the walk-up music. I agree with the girls down there running the jukebox. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Little heater.
He's not going to get cheated on his first swing. We've seen him swing and miss just about every at bat his first swing, but he won't get cheated.
Right. 0-2. Woo.
Cheat that.
Wisely got his bat out of the way. That's a sign of a veteran heads-up player. There's Morgan.
Behind his head.
Yep. Sometimes you'll see that bat get stuck out there and run right into the bat. That one's outside. He's got the count even 2-2 now.
Well, the pitcher did what he's supposed to. Anytime you throw it at the batter's head accidentally, you got to come with a curveball.
Right? 2 balls, 2 strikes. One down here, bottom of the second. Cyclones up a run. There's a little ball lifted into left field, a base hit, and Bryce Morgan continues to swing a hot bat. Just batting for average, right? But, hey, it's base runners.
Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, that's why they have it. A bat has all – you can use all parts of that bat, and I think he got it off the handle of that one.
Here's Harrison Adams. First time we've seen him today. Right-handed bat. What grade's Harrison?
Sophomore.
Harrison's a sophomore.
10th grader. It's second base now. And first pitch swinging. This one's cutting foul out of play to the right side to the Greenwood bullpen. Strike one. But like you said, Keith, like to see him aggressive, swinging the bat. Now, is this the kid like in junior high football that was a cornerback that was about a foot tall and would just kill people out there? I thought it was amazing watching him go after it.
Who's that?
Harrison.
Yes.
Yeah, spectacular. 0-1. Just missed outside. Just missed outside. I repeat. Good eye from Adams. 1-1 to count. Ray is up on top, and he will kick and fire. Adams fouled that one straight back. That was a rocket heading to the parking lot over the top. Sometimes those foul balls will kind of rainbow up and out. That thing was a missile.
Did you park right behind?
No, actually,
home
I
again?
got dropped off. My wife's running errands. She may be tuned in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's outside. Harrison, good check swing, barely. 2-2. She may be over at the softball diamond now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Runner at first, Bryce Morgan. There's a shot in the gap. Got past the diving shortstop. And we'll go station. Nope. A single and a single. One piece at a time.
That's how it
Johnny Cash
starts.
style. Harrison Adams, the sophomore, with a nice little bit of hitting there. And Austin Mitchell now, a 9th grader, huh?
Yep.
He's a freshman. He's in left field. So Coach Mikado shaking it up a bit here in game 2. See if this little move will pay off. Mitchell, another speedster. Saw him on the football field just running touchdowns. Or catching them anyway. That one's outside to Mitchell. Good eye.
Man, we see a difference. Willis, you can tell he's not Stevens back there. He kind of followed that ball in, made it look higher than it was.
1-0 count to Austin Mitchell, the freshman. A true freshman. Here it is. Way outside. 2-0. No action in either bullpen right now. Luke Ray up on top of Russellville. They won game 1. Bulldogs trying to work for a split here. It's Weaver out on deck for Greenwood. 1 out here, bottom of the second. Strike called. Mitchell danced a bit, but I think it was a good call. Two balls, 1 strike. Runners at first and second. That's way outside. Good eye from Mitchell. Hey, walks as good as a hit. Back-to-back singles from Morgan and Adams. 3-1. Let's see what Mitchell's approach here will be. Keith, 3-1.
Be aggressive on the fastball.
You're right. He did off the mound, but will they be able to get 2? No, Mitchell's speed. No chance at the double play ball. Adams is cut down at second base, 4-6 for out number 2. Mitchell's aboard with a fielder's choice. Bryce Morgan's over to third. And here's the Greenwood third baseman, Hayden Weaver. Hey, is he overdue?
Boy, he's in that box fast, ready to hit.
That's good. Let's see if he can get square one up from Luke Ray. He's serving up balls that are hittable for sure.
I just think, and I mean, you've heard the word average before. It's by no means demeaning, but I think Luke's an average pitcher. He's an okay pitcher.
Yes,
He's
I
not
agree.
anybody that'll shut you down. Greenwood should take advantage of average pitchers.
And Weaver, chopper to third. They're going to throw to first and try to get him, and they do. Morgan broke for home, but to no avail. 5-3 on the putout. And the Bulldogs threatened, but couldn't get anything across. They had 2 hits, left 2 on base here in the bottom of the second. Well, 2-1, Russellville still leading at the end of the second inning. Cyclones come to bat after this break. It's Greenwood Sports Center online and the Sports Hog, 1580 AM and 103.5 FM. Yes, sir. Okay. Will do. Yeah, you're right. It is. I did move that volume a bit.
Well, I would expect the next week to see all kinds of different lineups.
We are back here in Greenwood. I've got the town right at least. I'm only an elected official.
So to me, it's if you have 3 kids and you know they're going to get 10 at bats. You know they're not all going to be great at bats. You can't go 10 for 10. But
Right.
you got to figure out which kid is going to do the most with those 10 at bats and get better. And that's kind of what Mercado. He's not seen these guys in game action because last year was canceled. So
Right.
you know, I would expect to see other kids. He's given some upperclassmen some chances,
Yep.
and I would expect the underclassmen to kind of get some chances because you know if they start showing that they can get it done, then they'll start getting those at bats.
Absolutely. You know, you always have a soft spot for upperclassmen and seniors for sure in every sport. But at some point, we've got to win ball games or whatever it may take. That's not to say the seniors aren't going to win you ball games. Just doesn't hurt to shop around a bit here. So here's Bucher to lead off the top of the third. He's our DH for Russellville. And Monday's back to work, and that curveball just missed. It's 1-1 as Bucher fouled the first one back in here to the netting. Monday's up on top. He's ready. He kicks and fires. Curveball's in there for a called strike. That's nasty Uncle Charlie there, brother. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wheeless and then hips here in the third for Russellville. Got him swinging that time. Strozier scoops it up, and he'll throw down to first to complete the strikeout. K2-3. 1 down. Lady Bulldogs pounding Russellville here in game 2.
You like to see that?
10-2 in the fourth. And they're very good. If the pitching is there, haven't seen what they've got, but I know they've got bats. Strike call to Tristan Wheelis.
Well, you can't defense walks. What Monday's doing, he's just throwing strikes.
Yes. There's one that's in the gap. Oh, nope, Oaf going to get there. He did. Wow, Oaf was way in off the line. And a nice play from the senior in right field who came in shallow right center and made a nice grab from Wheelis.
Yeah, he kind of slid like he's sliding into a base to get his glove under the ball, made the catch, diving, and definitely took away a hit. I thought it was a hit as well.
And now Ty Hips. He is their second baseman. He doubled and got an RBI in the first inning and a called strike on a curveball Monday. A nice pitch. He's settling in here. I don't know who had their other RBI. Was it a 2 RBI double? I guess it was, wasn't it? That
Hips?
was yes. That was upstairs. Ball 1. I only have 1 RBI written down. I'm trying to hit a walk. And did we walk or run in the second one?
Yes.
Okay. 1-1. Curveball.
And he got an RBI for the walk because
Yes.
the bases are loaded.
That's right. So Brent Stevens got that other RBI. Here's the 2-1. That curveball was over but a little low. There's some gas, but it's upstairs. 3-1.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what the zone is.
Well, the zone is whenever you've hit like 6 or 7 3-pointers in a row and you can't mitt. Oh, you mean the strike zone?
Yes, the strike zone.
There's a walk with 2 outs. I can tell you that for me, it's the knees to just under the numerals on their jerseys and over the plate. But that's what I'd like it to be. Somebody's got a souped-up hot rod engine. You can hear that over the stream, I'm sure, and on the radio. Well, runner on now. Again, a 2-out walk. Doomed us in the first inning. That one just missed. Thought Strozer did a good job of bringing that one back in, but to no avail. Here's Braden Whitford. 1 ball count. A throw over. Boy, that's close. Hips had to slide back in head first. Elliott, nice job of holding that tag in there, selling it a bit. 1 ball count to Whitford. 2 down here, top of the third. Swing and a miss. They throw down to first, and again, Hips is in safely. A nice little snap throw from Strozier. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stevens on deck if Whitford can extend the at-bat here in the top of the third. Throw over again, nobody home. Braden Whitford, their first baseman, walked his first time up. Curveball just missed high. Mikado's asking where that one's at.
Yeah.
A little high, I guess. 2-1.
Well, last time that happened to Greenwood, the next guy hit one out.
Oh, boy. Thank you. Here's a 2-1 to Whitford. A shot right to Morgan. Gobbled it up. Go to second. Got the force. And that'll do it. Well done. 6-4 on the put out. We've played, 2.5. Bulldogs trailing 2-1. Top of the order coming up. Brown Oaf Monday. We'll take a quick timeout. Greenwood Sports Center online and the Sports Hog 103.5. Yes, sir. No.
Oh, thank you.
We may be doing good, but we're not gentlemen. Oh. We were roommates in college. I wish you could have been there, Bill.
Oh, it was a sight to see.
I'm glad the preacher wasn't. We are back here in Greenwood. Tim Terry, Keith Holt.
Woo!
Wow. 107 West L
Hey,
Street.
we're in
Apartment
rally
7.
mode up here. We're
Rally
rally.
yeah, baby.
We're ready to go.
Oh, 2-1 Cyclones leading Greenwood. Game 2 of this doubleheader 5A West action on the Sports Hog. If you're on Facebook and YouTube streaming, welcome.
Again, we've watched Ray now for 2 innings.
Yeah.
And I think
Not
Greenwood should be doing
overpowering,
more.
right?
No, he's not going to
No.
overpower you.
No.
His curveball, you can kind of pick it up. It's slower. And we just got to do a better job of hitting the ball hard where they're not.
Well, here we go. Second time through the order. We'll see if everybody's getting on board. Lost game 1. It's a tough one. Sure hate to get a loss with Drika, but like you said, he didn't have his best stuff. Left the ball out over the plate a bit, and I can agree with that. And I don't know a whole lot about baseball. Keith, a great baseball mind. Brown got the first pitch right down the pipes. He throws the bat down knowing that he was popped it up to the infield. Hips was there. Out 1.
And what I'd tell Brown is take a couple at-bats off from swinging at that first pitch.
Yep.
I know you're telling him to be aggressive, but you got to change things up. We've seen Peyton swing at 3-0.
Yep.
And if it works, it works. But if it doesn't, then you got to stop doing it.
First pitch swinging. This one's up in the air. Stevens, another shot at it. Catcher off with the helmet. Got it. That time the catch was made.
So it's 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Yes.
If you have 3 pitches, 3 outs, the coach owes the pitcher a steak dinner.
That's exactly right. Wheeless back there made the play. And Monday's going to be taken here. Certainly, you don't want to have a 3-pitch inning.
Did Van Kooten have one?
Yes,
was it
we did. I think it was Van Kooten. We did have one. Holloway bought him steaks. Curveball. That took care of that. Coach McCrotty thanks Monday for taking a pitch. 1 ball count. 2 outs. Bottom of the third. Strike in there. Monday 1 for 1 with a solo dinger in the first inning.
I wouldn't throw him a fastball. He's seen 1 fastball, 1 curveball. I wouldn't throw him another fastball.
Here's a 1-1 to Monday. This is a shot, slow roller to the shortstop. He'll gobble it up, cross the diamond, makes the play. 1, 2, 3, they went.
Quick.
Real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitch inning. The good thing about that is maybe leave him in there longer.
Yeah, he's hittable. He's a very hittable pitcher.
3 innings. complete here in Greenwood. So Russellville leading 2-1, going to the fourth inning. We'll just stay right here between innings. That was too quick.
Well, the good news is we're going to get to see a lot of growth. You know, by the time we come back and we're at Van Buren, you know, Van Buren's got to play some good competition. I think they beat Southside. Now, Southside's not in our conference, are they?
No. Are
so
they good competition?
Southside?
Yeah.
They're better than they have been.
Okay, good.
They've got some guys that'll go on to the next
I know
level.
the Carlisle kid. It's the only one I know him. And now I do know the pitcher, the stud
Waller,
the lefty, the sophomore.
Yes.
He's a quality pitcher.
Well, they've got a righty too.
Sorg?
He's getting a Sorg. David Sorg.
Sorg, yeah.
He's right-handed.
Is he righty? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Big 6'5".
yes, he's mid-80s, and you'll see him. To me, with his body build, he's exactly what Dave Van Horn likes. If he can get the velocity up there, he may be one of those kids as a junior that commits to the Razorbacks.
Right. I know his grandpa real well, Stan Miller. Phil Wobble Bobbers from Pradco. Appreciate them. Game O USA. Appreciate all their help sponsoring these broadcasts. The Wobble Bobber. I got to get me a Wobble Bobber and catch me some crappie. Maybe some bass. You don't fish?
Oh, I do, but I never catch anything.
I don't know, but with the Wobble Bobber from Phil, you could. That thing is instant fish. They jump in the boat. It'll be Brant Stevens, Justice Newman, and Wilkins to lead the inning off. Jeremy Wilkins.
And we need to follow up our quick inning with a quick inning defensively as well. I mean, you said
agree.
5 pitches, right? 5 pitches.
Yep.
That's just kind of, to me, that's something I don't allow the young kids to. You lose momentum for that inning.
Sure.
You won't get it back.
Especially with your 1-2-3 hole.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's little Stevens. Brant walked. RBI walk his last time up with the bases loaded. Monday comes to him. That's high ball 1. Top of the 4th inning. Russellville leads 2-1. That one's outside and almost bound right to our lap. If not for some netting and strategic netting placement. It's 2-1 Russellville.
Almost like they knew it could happen.
Yeah. Another curveball in the dirt. It's 3-0 to Stevens. He hasn't seen a strike yet. No, I'll take that back. He had one on him in the first at-bat. He was the last batter that Carroll faced in the first. That's in there for a called strike. Good job on Monday. Don't want a 4-pitch walk. That's as bad as a 5-pitch inning.
That's right.
Here's the 3-1 to Brant Stevens, their third baseman. Laces this one but pulled foul outside third base. Full count now. Mitchell gave it a run at it, but the Russellville dugout will flag it down out in the bullpens. Here's the 3-2. And a curveball is a walk. Just missed with it. Stevens on again with a base on balls. And here's Justice Newman. He grounded out to the first baseman to end the first inning. This is the first guy that Monday faced with 2 outs in the first. They already had 2 runs across, and the base is loaded. He had a little flare over to first base. He squares to bunt here, and it's foul.
I think that would have been a ball.
Yep. Kind of reached out and just pushed it to the dugout, Greenwood's dugout over here.
Again, there's different philosophies behind bunting, but at the high school level, it's do you have faith in the kid or don't you? Because it's an automatic out. And
Right.
I don't agree 2-1 game bunting that first out.
Here's the 0-1 to Newman. Swing and a miss. Sometimes in situations, a guy just trying to get a bat on a ball, it's in a big slump.
Yes, and that's fine. If coach knows that, that's one of the opportunities you have to bunt. I like that. That's
Right.
good. Let him do something positive.
Yes.
Move a runner over.
They throw over, and back in head first is Stevens safely. Looks like they've cleared the field over in the softball area, so the Lady Bulldogs will sweep of their conference opener of Russellville. 2-1 here. Cyclones lead. We're in the top of the fourth. Nobody out. Monday still at work. There's one towards the first baseman. Elliott had trouble with it, but he gathered and goes over and gets Justice Newman. Both of his outs are 3 unassisted. Rare. One down here in the fourth.
I think Elliott was looking for Monday for a second.
Yeah.
Monday was just sitting there watching him saying, dude, get that. I'm not coming all the way over there.
Certainly had plenty of time to get it himself. And now Jeremy Wilkins grounded out to the second baseman to lead off the second inning. That's Harrison Adams still out there at second, sophomore. Monday comes home with a curveball in there for a called strike.
That's a great pitch.
Yep. Matt Monday. One out here, top of the fourth. Cyclones leading 2-1. Greenwood Baseball. Glad to have you aboard. That's outside. 1-1. Mitchell's out in the left here in game 2. Freshman. Monday comes home with the 1-1. The curveball just
I wonder what was wrong with that one.
just stayed outside.
Again, I just want to know, I just want to know where it's at. As a fan, as a guy telling people, trying to paint a picture, it's hard to, that was just,
2-1. The score and the count. Swing and a miss from Wilkins. 2-2. Stevens out at second base, moved up on Newman's ground out to first. Monday from the stretch. He'll get set up top, check on Stevens, and come home with it. Got him with some high heat. Wilkins tried to check up but could not. It's a strikeout. And there's 2 down now to the top of the order. And the Cyclones pitcher is Luke Ray. Struck out twice, swinging.
and if you can just keep it here, just keep it where it's a one-run game, then you're always still in the game. You can't let it get out of control where they start getting 1 or 2 runs ahead.
That one's outside. Ball 1 to Luke Ray. Hope you have a good St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Be sure to wear green. March the 17th.
Did we miss the Eyes of March?
It was Monday. I did not. That's
You
strike
never do.
call. Et tu, Brute. You know, Brutus stabbed Julius Caesar on the 13th of March. Just unbelievable. And thought they were friends.
I still don't agree with that decision.
No. Here's the 1-1. That one bounced in.
Oh, nobody there.
2-1. Strozier wanted to fling it down to second, didn't he?
Well, that's where Harrison's just got to get used to moving after the pitch and being there with a runner at second.
2-1 count. Monday up on top. Checks the runner, Stevens, and comes home with it. And that one nearly hit the batter, and it's to the backstop. And Stevens will advance, no problem. 3-1 to the Russellville pitcher, Luke Ray.
Yeah, just get him to ground out here, and all is good. Go in and hit, start a rally.
Yes. Strozier out to talk to Monday. That's what he just told him. Keep it down. Give me a strike. And they're ready. March the 16th today, so that's 3/16. So we'll go John 3/16. Brother Ronnie, fill us in on a little scripture. God so loved the world. Shot to short. Morgan on a big hop. Does he have time to get it over there? Got him! A bang-bang play at first. And they call him out. Oh, baby, from the hole. Bryce Morgan with a dandy play. And that'll end the inning. They left a man on base. Got around that walk. 2-1. Greenwood trailing. Huge play from Morgan in the hole.
He has been a pleasant surprise to watch defensively. I don't know officially how many errors. I think he's had 1 error, and that's the only one I remember. Everything else has been smooth. He's made it look easy and effortless. He's really done a good job there. Now that he's hitting, he's filling that spot perfectly.
So I'm not far away from calling him Captain Morgan.
Ooh, you're 1 base hit away. 1 base hit away, and you can start calling him that.
Okay. You know, Grant was Captain Morgan for the Hogs football team this past year.
There might be some copyright infringements you have to deal with. Registered trademarks.
I can remember while we're on I guess it would be some trend, but I don't really care. But I remember in football 2004 season, and Lucas Miller, who went on to play for the Hogs, he had a game at Alma. The only time that Coach Jones ever lost to Alma, the first year Rick was here. And it was 17-14 at half, and they couldn't cover him. And I've told Coach Jones to this day, if he's listening, he'll tell you, I thought it was his worst coaching job ever, just because they couldn't stop Lucas Miller that time, and you had to just throw it to him every play. And end up the final was 17-14. No one scored the second half. But I said a number of times during that broadcast that it's Miller time. And HB Stewart, HB saw me the next Saturday at the coffee shop. He's like, Growly, dang you, Terry, that Miller time. I was like, it's Lucas Miller, Coach.
And it's funny that you did. You talk about HB.
Yeah.
And you put that hand on your head.
Right.
Whenever he talked to you and he'd get serious, he'd lay back in that chair and put that hand on that head.
Right. Bulldogs coming to bat here in the bottom of the fourth. It's the 4-5-6. Jerica, Elliott, and Morgan. Jerica struck out to end the first inning right after Monday's home run. So Landry's ready to get another crack at this guy. Luke Ray back to work. For Russellville, that one's inside to Jerica. Ball one.
I think we're about 3 base hits away from getting Ray out of there. I can't see how Coach would stick with him once we get him figured out and start hitting him like that.
Jerica got a pretty good wood on it, but it's foul, pulled foul into the Russellville bullpen. 1-1 is the count.
See, that wasn't even, to me, that was over the middle of the plate, and he's that early on it. That's kind of velocity that you're not used to seeing. It's slow. It's probably mid-70s.
Right. Here's the 1-1 from Luke Ray into Landry Jerica, the DH. Strike call. A little breaking ball. Jerica will have to take a deep breath. He did. Here he's standing back in the 1-2 now. Here it comes. Way outside. Good eye. 2-2.
You can pick up the pitcher's arm slot. When he throws that curveball, he brings the ball up closer to his ear and tries to really get it to spin over the top.
2-2. Jerica just fouled that one off. Good bit of hitting there. Ball, it was borderline with this guy. Got to foul off the trash.
Yes, we talked about that between games.
Yep.
It's just there's an art to it to where you keep your bat alive. Something to be said for long at bats.
Counts 2-2. Nobody out here. Bottom of the fourth. 2-1 Russellville.
Oh,
That one's upstairs. It looked PHAT, didn't it?
it did. I saw it when it left his hand. You
Yeah.
knew it was going to end up over the middle. You just didn't know what the umpire was going to call.
Luckily, it was a little high, and I think it was. Here's a 3-2 to Jerica. This was a mile high, a major league pop-up. The pitcher's going to field it himself, raising foul ground. Wow, and he just barely snow-coned it. That ball was going to end up dropping fair if he hadn't have made the grab, but he did.
Yeah, it was a foot inside the line, wasn't it?
Yes.
And usually it's, you tell your pitcher to stay away and let somebody else handle it. But right now, there's so many double position players. Coaches
Right.
don't mind those guys going and making that catch.
Drew Elliott, he's at first base now for Greenwood. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to the pitcher. And that one's in the helmet. There you go, baby. Take it. That's the second guy we've seen get hit in the noggin here this afternoon. And here comes Bryce Morgan. Singled his last time up. He's 3 for 4 on the day. Bryce is swinging a hot bat as of late.
Well, with the lighting here at Bulldog baseball field, you can still see the smoke coming off his bat.
Yes, exactly. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. Let's see if Morgan can get some action going here. Elliott, what kind of speed we got over there, Keith, They're going to try. They're worried a little bit about him. They throw over.
Well, I don't know if it's as much the speed as just Coach Mercado's made no bones about it. He's going to be aggressive on the bases. He's going to look to steal bases and take that extra base, so it don't matter what your speed is. He may send you here in a second.
That one's upstairs to Morgan. 1 ball count. Elliott gets a lead over at first. Plunked in the helmet. Ray for Russellville up on top. Here it comes. Called strike at the knees.
See, that's the difference. I'm almost McCarty has to be the catcher. because Holloway would always let the pitchers take big strides and didn't matter because he's like, well, you're the catcher. You do what you have to do to throw him out, where all these pitchers are slide stepping quick to the plate so the catcher has a chance to throw him out.
2-1. That one missed as well. Morgan in the spot right here. They throw over, and Elliott's in there safe. .103.5. Sports Hog, you can find us right here. 2-1. And that one is upstairs, 3-1. Not only is Bryce swinging a hot bat, but he's seeing it well. He's hasn't swung any trash here. He's got a 3-1 count. Hate for him to walk and waste a good bat that's sizzling, but base runner is what we need. Here it comes. And he took a hack at it. Couldn't tell if it was going to be ball 4 or not. It bounced off the helmet of the umpire or the catcher won.
Is that 50-50 that was it going to be too high or was it down? It was definitely down the middle. But, you know, when the guy's swinging the bat as hot as he is, then you got to trust that it was something he could have driven.
Mikado running through the sides at third base, my favorite part of the sport. Here's the 3-2. There goes the runner. There's a shot to shortstop. Good job of sending the runner to break up the double play. They just got Morgan at first.
When the base runner did a good job, he timed that up. If you notice, he left just a split second earlier than the pitcher pitched it. He was trying to time him up, and he was going to make it no matter what.
Out number 2. And now Harrison Adams up to bat, the sophomore. He's at second base. Came in for Carroll, who started the game at pitcher. Couldn't get out of the first inning. Finished the inning at second base. Adams to center. Is it going to get down? It will not. Good jump out there in center field from Wilkins. And the rally ends. Adams has squared it up twice pretty well, but to no avail. A line out to center field. Bulldogs left a man on base. That's 3 base runners stranded today. They're in game 2. Cyclones lead Greenwood 2-1 here after 4 innings of baseball. 5A West action. We're online at Greenwood Sports Center and on the radio. The Sports Hog 103.5. Yes, sir.
I bet Monday's got one more in him, and then you'll see somebody coming in.
Depending on where they're at, I'd run Oath back out there if you see them lefties again.
Yeah.
Maybe. We got any other left-handers?
I don't think so.
We're back here at 9 Pines.
It's catching.
There's 9 pine trees behind the outfield fence. If you're late to the party, Dr. Smith and I have sparred.
And you know there's no way he'll ever approve that because all it's going to take is one chainsaw, and then what have you got?
Or some DeLorean come flying out of the air and knocking one over.
Yeah, like Twin Pines Mall,
Right.
Single Pines Mall. Lone Pine Mall.
I mean,
Sorry about your tree.
You've got to take all that into consideration. Right. Here the Cyclones come. I like a sassy Kennedy Holland. She's telling us about it. Reaching out to shortstop. That's Burnett. Morgan gobbled it up and just in time. Kind of nonchalant on that one, Burnett, with good speed, but he got him.
He waited back a little bit, and I don't think you realized how fast Burnett was getting down the line.
Quick.
Here's Shane Bucher now. Bucher walked, scored a run, struck out in the third. He's 0 for 1. I don't like 9 Pines either, but it's just fun to say for now. That one's in the dirt to Bucher. Ball 1.
You think, how did they get that tree in center field to be directly centered behind the wall?
I think they built the field towards it.
Yeah, because that tree has been here forever.
Yeah, it's dead nuts. Used to run through that creek and get crawdads that goes between here and the softball field. Me and Barry Lunny Jr. That was outside. Elementary days. It was a little dirt track out there. I don't know if one of the Bean Boys, somebody built a little motorcycle dirt track out there where the softball field stands. 3-1 to Bucher. Top of the 5th. This one's pulled foul. out into the football field. Full count to Shane Bucher.
Why couldn't you have anticipated in college for me and you to buy Bitcoin? I mean, could you not have done that for both of us?
There's a whole lot of things I wish I would have anticipated.
Okay.
Yahoo.
Yeah.
There's a shot. Weaver, nice stab over at third. Beautifully done, moving to glove side. Hayden made it look easy. 5-3 on the putout. And there's 2 down here, and here's Wheelis. Their catcher walked, scored a run, lined out to right field. The things that are even worse than that is the fact that I owned like Facebook a long time ago for about $45 a share.
But that was probably when MySpace was still around.
Yeah, close.
Oh, good pitch.
Curveball just missed low. But actually having it in your hand, that's even worse than not knowing. Here's the 1-0. It's low, 2-0. Tristan Wheelis, he's their catcher. Monday up on top has been stellar since he came in the bottom of the or top of the first. That one's high and tight, 3-1 count now, or 3-0 rather.
Well, he's doing what Mercado hopes the younger pitchers learn is just go up and throw strikes, challenge people. You know, don't worry if you give up a hit. We see him throw a strike on the outside corner there. Don't be afraid to pitch to contact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so many guys start
Right.
walking people because they don't want to get hit. Well, let them hit it to somebody.
Swing and a miss. Wheelis took a hack at it, and Monday's worked hard to get this count back even. Or at least full. I still don't think it's kind of even. 1 strike and 1 ball away. Here's the payoff. Curveball's fouled. McCrotty with a little matador ole at that one.
Dorn.
2-1 Cyclones, top of the 5th. We're playing 7 innings here in game 2.
Got him.
And a shot to the left. Just let the curveball hang a
He
little
did.
bit.
It did not break as much as he wanted it to.
So a 2-out rally. Nice job from Wheelis.
I think he's got to get to second before we call it a rally.
Oh, okay.
It's just a 2-out knock, 2-out hit.
Okay, I'll live with that.
It's not really a rally yet. I'm not really fired up yet. If he gets a second, we'll get fired up and call it a rally.
Colonel Potter coming in to run for Wheelis. Courtesy runner, it's Trey Potter.
Uh-oh.
And they tried to pick off play. They threw it to the backstop.
He's going,
Potter
go 3.
is going
Nope.
to stay there at second.
Now is that 1+1? If it went under the fence, or you just get
If it went under the fence, they're going to give him another one, I bet you. Let's see.
what? Coach McCarty's going to argue it.
And,
I guess they're going to say he gets the base he's going to.
well, because it went under the fence, you know, I don't know if he played the halfway card or he's almost there. Or,
Yeah, I don't think that's a 1+1 situation.
I agree. Because he was actually probably going back, sliding into first when the ball went under the fence as fast as it was going. Well, Monday now with a runner in scoring position. And a called strike to Ty Hips.
And this is really kind of huge. I mean, we
Yes.
talked about keeping it a 1-run game, and you want to keep that runner from scoring, so this is kind of a huge at-bat.
RBI double for Hips. Walked as well in his second at-bat. He's 1-1 count here.
You see the outfield playing up a little bit. They're going to look to shoot at him if they get a ball hit to him.
2-1, Russellville leads here, top of the 5th. There's 2 outs. Matt Monday kicks and fires. And Hips fouls it straight back at us.
Ooh,
1-2.
Came out of his shoe swinging.
Yeah, I just missed it. I guess we're going to let my Colonel Potter reference go without. And that's MASH. What are we doing?
I liked it.
Thank you.
I mean, I even heard it. I just didn't know how to
Right.
acknowledge
Yeah.
it properly.
I threw the Corporal Klinger out with a girl from Mountain Home earlier. That's some curveballs outside. Dr. Smith liked that one. 2-2. Deuce is wild here at the top of the 5th. Ty Hips, their second baseman, got the win in game 1 for the Cyclones at pitching. Curveballs, little flare. Can Morgan get to it? He could not. It's down, and the run's going to score. So it's an unearned run now with the throwing error. Again, McCrotty hit the deck over the third base bracket. He's slow getting up.
Well, there's a slight slope going from the dirt down to the ground. They've really worked hard at building that side up to make it level, and I think if you don't hit just right on that slope, you're going down.
Here's Whitford. Another 2-out rally, as I said earlier.
Yeah, now it's a rally. Thank you.
And they throw over, it hips his back safely. Elliott holds him on. Whitford walked. And this one's up in the air. Stroger, does he have room? He does not. Strike. Fouled straight back over here.
And nobody's up in the pen for either team. So, I mean, they're going to stick with the pitchers they've got going. Either that or coach could bring Oaf back in or somebody that's out there.
Whitford's second at bat. He grounded and forced out hips at second. Here's the 0-1.
Runner.
Braden Whitford, it's laced to center, but Brown's standing right there waiting on it. Out number 3 is recorded. There was some damage, though. They had 2 hits, 1 run for the Cyclones. Left a man on base. 5.5, we're in the middle, or 4.5, we're in the middle of the 5th. 3-1, Russellville leads. Bulldogs need to get going here and get a lead on these boys. We will take a break here. It's stretch time in the middle of the 5th on Greenwood Sports Center Online. We're on AM 1580 and the Sports Hog 103.5. Thank you.
So the doubleheaders this year serve as home and away, sort of, to where we're not going to Russellville this year. We'll go play a doubleheader next year there.
More than likely, unless other scheduling issues.
So we're done with Greenbrier. We don't have to see them again till postseason.
Right. We're at Van Buren. We only got to go to Siloam's our longest trip.
Mountain Home.
We are back in Greenwood, bottom of the 5th. Bulldogs down another run here. As the Cyclones manufactured one there in the top of the 5th, a 2-out rally, it turns out. It'll be Mitchell, Weaver, and then the top of the order, Brown for Greenwood.
And you and I have talked. I still think we give them a hall pass no matter what happens, just because we're trying to find out our identity. You and I, we can't talk about an identity because we don't even know it yet.
Right.
And we're still trying to figure out who's going to be in the lineup offensively, who's going to pitch. And Coach McCullough's trying to figure all that stuff out too. So, I think in 3 weeks, if we get back together, we'll be able to say, okay, we now can start figuring out our identity.
I agree. And you, like you talked about with the year washed out last year, don't have really anything idea what Mikado is all about. He can tell you what he wants to be like. As the first pitch from Mitchell is to the third baseman. Nice job of digging it out. And throw from Stevens in the dirt a bit. Mitchell's out number 1.
Yeah, and that's tough. You tell kids to be aggressive, and I'll bet if we figured it up, that's the 8th or 9th pitch out of the innings we've played today that we've had 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yep.
And they're aggressive. That's probably one of the first ones we've seen hard hit. The rest of them have been pop-ups, but it's hard to say, okay, everybody, let's go up and take a pitch.
And maybe the best pitch you see. That's
right.
That's the risky run. Now, Weaver got a hold of the first pitch he saw. It's out into left field, and it's down for a base hit. He's going to try to go for 2, and he'll be in there for a double standing up. And Hayden Weaver with some 9-hole love.
That's a great hit. That was almost a great catch by the left fielder.
Yes.
I thought he was going to come up with it. Ball's on the ground. Weaver ends up on second. Since he's on second base, it's the start of a rally.
It's rally time with 1 out.
Let's
Here's
go.
Luke Brewer coming in to pinch hit.
Now batting number 23, Luke Brewer.
For Brown? Pinch hitting for Caden Brown.
And I'm sure that's Coach trying to wake up Brown and get him some motivation.
And the curveball's in the dirt as Luke Ray still working hard for the Cyclones. Yes, we're knee-deep in this rally here in the 6th, or in the 5th, rather. 3-1, Russellville leads. Man at second, 1-out double for Weaver. That's called strike. Thought it was a little low, but it's in there at the knees. 1-1.
And I'd like to see us be a little bit more aggressive. Runner at second base. Pitcher hasn't looked at him yet, and I'm sure he probably will this time, but you got to be getting off there. I mean, you can almost walk to third base when he doesn't look at you.
Yeah, he did. Here's a 1-1. There's a shot.
That's a
little
hit.
flare to right. It is down. It got past the right fielder. He booted it a bit. They're going to send Weaver home, and he's dead meat. Yep. He's out. What a shot from Newman out and right. He got him. Sure enough.
Yeah, I don't agree, I don't disagree with Mercado. I send him. I
Yeah, I
mean, you
would
got
too.
the right fielder bobbling it. It's got to take a perfect shot, and it just happened to be a laser perfect shot. So I agree with the aggressiveness. It's bad. It didn't go in our favor.
So the second out, 9-2 on the putout. Newman just put a nice shot in out there. I thought the ball kind of got past him, whereas it just kind of bounded and went straight to beside him more. Made it, and it probably looked the same from the third base coaching box for sure.
And we haven't seen him. I mean, we don't have a scouting report. He had an arm. I mean, he
Yes.
threw that ball.
Yep.
It was on a line, and catcher caught it where all he had to do was drop his glove and tag it on the feet of Weaver.
Here's Chance O. First one's fouled out of play into Smith Robinson Stadium. 2-out rallied somewhat. Now the runner at first. The 0-1 count. That ball's low. 1-1 to Oaf.
Well, we saw that last time. Wheelis looked at the umpire, didn't get any favorable calls. He didn't like that non-call.
Oaf's 0 for 2 here in game number 2. Lined out to short, popped up to the catcher. That ball's foul out of play left side. Doesn't kind of go the other way, it seems like, with them two. Foul balls went that way.
I didn't see, was Weaver going out of the box? He wasn't hesitating at all with 2 outs, was he?
I didn't think, well, there was only 1 out at that time. I think he might
That's
have
right.
checked up a bit.
That's probably what had to have happened.
I agree. 1-2. That's way outside. That'll let Brewer scamper on to second base. On the, I guess that's a wild pitch, huh?
Oh, yeah.
2-2.
Yeah, usually if the catcher can't can't jump up and catch it.
Hit his glove. Coach People says,
Oh,
hit
my
your glove.
gosh.
You gotta
Yeah, pass ball if you can get a glove on it.
That's right. I don't know that he could have.
Here's the 2-2. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Oh, swap places with him. Get a run on the board.
Here we go.
That's upstairs. That'll give Brewer third base as it popped out of the catcher's glove. That's a pass ball.
I mean, we talked to Stevens for Russellville. His son's probably the better of the catchers, but
Right.
they need him at third base at times. We've seen him make a couple plays at third. Now we're seeing, Wheelis is one more pass ball, and it's a one-run game.
Yep. Ron Nelson got us tuned in out in Bristol, Virginia. Appreciate Mr. Nelson lifting a little Bulldog baseball here. Tim Terry, Keith Holt. Here's the payoff. Bottom of the 5th to Chance Oaf. Tipped it, caught in the glove. Boy, got him. Strikeout. Bulldogs left a man at third base. Had 1 hit.
2 hits.
Nope. 2 hits? You're right, 2 hits. Left a man on base. We've played 5 innings of baseball here in Greenwood. Cyclones leading the Bulldogs 3-1. Russellville coming to bat here as we move on to the top of the 6th. Greenwood Sports Center online and the Sports Hog 103.5.
Crowder's up 8-6. They went on a tear, bottom of 6th inning.
Nice.
Get back to that baseball dad conversation we were having earlier.
Yes.
With the pass ball wild pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Your son must be a catcher.
Yes.
We are back in Greenwood. We've talked about pass ball wild pitch stats, and Keith and Sean both have younger sons that are playing catcher, so they're going to try to always be on favor of the catcher on that pass ball wild pitch stat.
I don't know. I tell him, if you can touch it, you got to get there. It's on you to make the pitcher look good. And, one of those, the last one I thought was a pass ball. I thought he should have had that one.
I agree.
But the other one he couldn't jump up and catch.
Well, just like we talked about, Keith, here's the Oaf coming in. They're at the bottom of their order with the lefties that have been down here in the previous game. Monday's back to first base. Adam stays at second. Oaf is at pitching. Who's out in right?
Elliott?
It is Elliott. Brown State. No, Brewers in center now.
Man, you hate to see Brown
Right?
sitting, but you got to trust Mercado too. That he's taking a guy that's committed to UCA. That you need to be a leader, need to be hot, and he's not. And sometimes the best motivator ever is the bench.
Yes, sir.
And I expect Brown to come back and be even better when he gets back in the
Certainly.
lineup.
Brant Stevens is going to lead it off for the Cyclones, their third baseman. He's walked twice. An RBI on his first walk in the first with the bases loaded. And the lefty, Chance Oaf, back to work. He came in the sixth, I believe, in the first game. Curveball stayed upstairs. Ball one.
You know, they're going to make a rule in USSSA that I expect to come out next year for younger, as we see that pitch almost hit the batter, for younger catchers, that they're going to say if you catch, you can't pitch because it's too much strain on your arm. Like they're going to make you, like you can't catch and pitch in the same day.
Right.
And I don't disagree with that.
Called strike on a 2-0 count, caught inside black. Stevens didn't like it, and home plate blue didn't like what he had to say.
He's telling him about it,
Yep,
isn't he?
certainly is. Now, that's his dad right there. That's Bobby's attitude. I like that. A little fire in his belly. Here's a 2-1 to Stevens. Good thing is you got to swing at anything now mentally.
Yeah, if it's anywhere
2-2,
close,
right.
he's toast.
Yeah. 2-2.
The umpire's still staring at him.
Right. Top of the sixth, nobody out. This is the first man up, Brant Stevens. And that one bounced in, and it's full count. Now, see, his dad right there would have turned around and said, how was that not a strike? You know?
Exactly.
And I guarantee you Bobby said that in the bleachers over there with all of his gray hair and everything. Guy had a beautiful head of hair back in college. Boy, he looks like Santa Claus over there. Here's the 3-2 to Stevens. That's fouled out of play over the top here. We'll do it again. 3-1, Russellville leads here in the top of the sixth, trying to sweep this conference doubleheader here in Greenwood.
And we talked about it, Greenwood needs to come out with a split. I mean, you lose
Got
the
to.
first game, you got to come out with a split.
All right. Oaf brings it home, and
Got
that
him.
is outside. Boy, Coach Mikado does not like that whatsoever. And I can't believe,
I don't like it.
well, especially with
Yeah.
and Coach Mikado's getting fired up. I like this fire from him. Puts the mask on.
Well, we've never seen him animated. He's getting fired up because he needs his players fired up, and he's right. That ball's on the outside part. You saw Stevens question it, and we thought that anything close would go in Greenwood's favor.
Certainly after Stevens'
And that
comment.
50-50 ball was just not given to him, and I think he's going to tell Coach to stay in the dugout.
I don't know if he can throw him out or not, but got an applause from the home crowd. Just, can he seatbelt him in baseball, or how's that work? I don't know if he tossed him or not.
If he leaves, if he steps outside, he tossed him, which means does he have to sit the next game?
Yes, I believe he would. I don't know if it'll be the next conference game or just the next game.
Yeah, he's leaving the park.
So Coach Mikado's been tossed, so there's excitement here in Greenwood. Leadoff walk for the Cyclones. They squared a bunt. Newman's got the bunt down. Oaf fields it, throws to first, completes the out. Sacrifice is good, though, for Newman, who's done that earlier today in game one. Moves the runner up, and there's one down.
Well, you know, you haven't seen Mercado get hot, and you expect at home to get that call, especially as a catcher, and you see the kid act like he did,
Yeah.
questioning the call. I mean, to me, that's we talked about. He hadn't been consistent all day.
On top of all that, that ball's been called a strike more than not today.
Yes.
Oaf comes home with it, and that one's in the dirt. To the left-handed batting Wilkins, ball one.
Mercado just said what you and I were thinking.
Right. Now, it's a two-way street on that deal. A little bit of that showmanship to fire up the players.
That's right. And he knows they need to be fired up.
1-0. That's in there for a called strike.
You know, we need to see Greenwood play with some passion. You know, they got beat by Greenbrier when Greenbrier showed a little bit more passion than they did. So
Right.
they just need to show some passion and get fired up.
With a little hint of swagger.
Yes.
That's outside 2-1. McCrotty, I can guarantee you, and the roles were reversed. And he was down 3-1. He would have gotten tossed.
He would have gotten
same-
taught. We've seen that happen.
Yeah, for sure. One out here in the top of the sixth. That's in there for a called strike.
And it's hard in baseball. You have to tell your players, you know, we're batting under 200.
Yeah.
It's hard to show swag when you're
Right.
as terrible as we're doing offensively,
Right.
but you still have to have it.
Yep.
I mean, it has to carry because it'll eventually catch up.
And he rung him up there a very
That was further outside than the one he didn't call.
unanimated chainsaw, but it was rung up. And out top of the order, and Luke Ray. There's There's a man at second to walk, sacrificed up. Ray takes one high, ball one.
Well, the crowd liked it when he got tossed. The
Right.
crowd liked it that he said what everybody was thinking.
Right.
And you just hope the players will respond.
Curveball's inside. Almost caught a piece of the front corner of the plate.
Where are we at in our lineup coming up?
The 3-hole Monday.
So, I mean, it's set up to do well.
Yes.
Bottom of 6th inning. You got 6 outs to go. It's set up to let's go to work and let's start our rally.
It's 3-0 now to this guy, though. Don't want to let them get into their meat of their order. Oaf. Strike on a 3-1. Sent one down the pipe to Luke Ray, the pitcher for Russellville here in game
And I think
two.
Luke Ray is primed to just us knock him out this next inning.
That one's upstairs, and he walked him. First and second now, Burnett will come to bat. Burnett struck out looking, lined out to the second baseman, grounded out to short. He's 0 for 3. Strozier will go out and talk to Ove. Monday will come in, and they'll have a little powwow on the mound. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. 3-1, Cyclones lead.
Jace Presley pitching at Connor State for Crowder.
Nice.
Talk about good hair.
Yes. Him and Monday last year were,
The Mullet Masters.
yes. It's a great Head and Shoulders commercial. Curveball's just upstairs from Oaf to Brady Burnett.
And this is where you want to play your middle infield back a little bit, get the short out at second base because Burnett's got some wheels.
Tip foul. This one hits Strozier, bounded way up in the air. It's a foul ball. Strike one.
And if you're the outfield, you know they're going home, but you gotta shoot at them anyway because you can't let them expand that lead in the bottom of the 6th or top of the 6th inning.
Right. 2 outs here. 0 from the stretch. He'll check the runners at first and second, and Chance will come home with it. There's a shot to Weaver at third. Just step on your bag, brother. He does. Nice play at third. 5 unassisted.
No errors. 2 men left on base.
He cut down Stevens there.
6th inning. Cyclones 3, Bulldogs
And the Bulldogs will come to bat in the bottom of the 6th. Meat of the order, Monday, Jerika Elliott, 3, 4, and 5. Let's just stay right here, guys. We'll get ready for this huge inning here as the Bulldogs regroup. Mikado's been tossed.
Well, and Mercado could be more of a laid back, thought-provoking kind of coach where he makes you think. He's very cerebral. You can tell he stands over the clipboard. He's counting pitches, what kind of pitches,
Right.
what he's scouting. He puts a lot of thought into it, and I'm telling you, that wasn't knee-jerk. If he
No.
did it, it was planned. I mean, it was something he thought out that when he goes out there, he went out there for a reason. I just hope that he can get what he wanted out of it
Right.
and get us fired up at the plate.
It looked like his old man over there, who's kind of a volunteer assistant, firing up the boys in the huddle between innings. This is a time where, we've talked about this, and there's been a big, not really debate, but I've called Greenwood a baseball town. You talk 11 appearances in the state finals in baseball, 1 million appearances in the tournament in the postseason, conference championships back into the 60s. I mean, this town that was it back in the day with baseball, really.
Well, if you got a kid that's less than 14 years old, you can count the number of teams. There's so many teams that have Greenwood kids in it.
Right.
That there's a lot of Greenwood kids playing baseball.
Yes.
You know, the problem that I see with Greenwood baseball is the parents have got to not be afraid to go let them play better competition.
Right.
And because you've got a lot of players that have played baseball, but when you face a kid like from Greenbrier
Sure.
or a kid that Sims kid,
Yep.
you got to have seen that before.
Yes.
And so you got to go out and challenge them a little bit because right now there's a ton of baseball players, but they're playing Double-A.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with it. There's always a place for it.
Yes.
But for Greenwood players to be ready for high school, they've got to go play at that higher
Yep.
level.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, well, you just look around, you see D1
Oh, they
pitching.
love it. Yeah, they love baseball.
Right.
Greenwood, the kids love it here.
Well, here's Monday. He is solo jack in the first. Greenwood's only run. That ball's outside.
He looks at the dugout and he's kind of like, hey, they won't throw me a fastball. Well, of course, no, I wouldn't throw
No.
you a fastball either, even though I bet he sees one right here.
Grounded out to short. His other plate appearance. He's 1 for 2. Here it comes. And he rips this one the other way, and it's going to be down for a double. rolls to the fence. Monday on his horse. He's 2 for 3 here in the nightcap. And that's the way you start a rally, Keith.
And I thought that was a better hit than his home run.
I agree.
Because he stayed in on that and drove that. That ball was hit hard to the right center gap.
One hop to the fence. And Monday with a leadoff double to get things going in Eureka now, representing the tying run at the plate. And you're right, Keith. It just took us a minute, but you thought we'd get to this Ray kid.
Well, and this is where if you're Mercado, you probably take one of your young guys and pinch run for Monday, and because you can always re-enter him and let somebody else with some speed because you got to score him. He's on second base. He's got to score.
That's the only thing with him not being in that dugout that the other guys might miss.
Well, and I'll bet he's watching somewhere where he's probably making a phone call to his dad right now telling him, hey, let's get a pinch runner out there.
Eureka took ball 1. Surely he's tuned into the live stream. Why wouldn't he? Or at least the radio. Get over there on 103.5 getting that pickup truck. This ball's lifted to center and coming in a mile. Oh, the shortstop's going to come out and get it. And out number 1. Eureka, tough night at the plate for him.
Yeah, he just missed that pitch. He was out in front of it, popped it up.
Well, here's Drew Elliott now.
Someone made the call because they're going to send a pinch runner out. It's going to be Kennan.
Number 14's Aiden Kennan, sophomore. Will pinch run for Matt Monday.
And you got to cut this to 1 in 6th and have a chance at the 7th inning. We talk about how every run's important. And I think, does Russellville have anybody up yet? They still don't have anybody up, so their pitcher's got to be out there, which you think's not going to get hot enough. So these next 3 at-bats are important for Greenwood.
Here's Drew Elliott. Got plunked last time up. There's a little fister towards the shortstop. He'll charge, glove, throw. Well done. Yeah, well done from their shortstop, Burnett. And Elliott goes down 6-3. There's 2 outs. And here we go, boys. It doesn't get any hotter than this. Morgan's in a spot. And he's been living up to the hype of late. Swinging a hot bat. This would be a good time to get one down. A pass ball would even be nice, too, to get this run in. Let's see if Kennan's on his horse. Here comes the 3-1. That was upstairs. It's 3-1. Here comes the first pitch. Upstairs to Morgan. 1-0 is the count.
Man, if McCarty's calling pitches, he probably won't call a curveball because the catcher hasn't done a great job of blocking that pitch.
Here it comes. That's in there for a called strike.
2 fastballs in a row, and if McCarty calls a curveball here, I'll be shocked because anything gets by the catcher, it makes it a 1-run game.
Here's the 1-1. Bryce Morgan waits on it for Greenwood. It's outside.
It's 3 fastballs.
Wheelis did a good job that time of blocking that ball. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Greenwood with a runner at third base. Down 3-1 to the Cyclones. Needing a must win, really, to get a split. Morgan with a nice hack and a pitch right in there, 2-2.
Now, do you go ahead and show the curveball even though you know that the catcher hadn't been blocking it? Do you do it here, or do you throw up one more fastball to a guy that's been hot?
Tough one here, Keith. Here's a 2-2. We'll see. Rays up on top for Russellville. Here it comes from Luke.
Fastball.
Morgan
it's down. No, he's playing
in the air, and Newman had positioned himself to be right there in no man's land. And they strand the runner at third. So a leadoff double goes for naught for Monday as Morgan fly it out to the right fielder. There was 1 hit, 1 man left on base for the Bulldogs. That is 5 left on base today for Greenwood. Well, 7th inning we go. This is it. 3-1, Russellville with the lead. Greenwood Sports Center online and the Sports Hog 103.5. Yes, sir.
Well, we're getting what we want. We're getting guys on base.
Yep.
He's just got to find the guys that, I have no doubt in 3 weeks, Jericho, instead of popping that up, will hit that ball.
Yes.
They've got to get more at bats. And I think you will see when we play at Van Buren, you guys will see a different team after the 5 games in Little Rock.
Yep. Beautiful.
I just got to think it's got to happen.
Yep. We're back here in Greenwood. Last of the.
Tell them what's happening if they're just tuning in.
Well, if you're just tuning in, Greenwood's down 3-1. The Cyclones just kind of manufacturing some runs. Carroll struck out the first 2 batters of the game, the Greenwood starting pitcher, and then walked 4 of the next 5. Got him 2 runs across. There was a double in between the walks. And he couldn't get out of the first inning. Monday came in and did a pretty good job of shutting down the Cyclones. They scratched out a run in the 5th inning. The Bulldogs with a solo shot from Monday in the bottom of the first that at the time made it a 2-1 game.
And what we need is we just need that hit with runners on base. We're not getting the big hit, the double, the hit over the fence. We're not even getting the bleeder with somebody on base. We just got to be able to get some hits with people on base. Instead, we're just hitting it right at people. And I'm a baseball guy that says, if you hit 3 right at people today, next week they'll find a hole.
That's exactly right. Oaf back to work here at the top of the 7th. He'll face Shane Bucher, and a curveball's in there for a called strike. Being told the Hogs lost to OU 8-5 in baseball. Strike called to Bucher. He's in the hole 0-2.
And I think that's good for the Razorbacks. I think, if they go in as the number 1 at the end, that's never fared well for number 1s. I think they need to be a 3 or 4, come in and then, shock Vanderbilt, shock those guys that are at the top.
Bucher struck out swinging. 1 down here in the top of the 7th. Wheelis, their catcher, walked, scored a run. Lined out to right, single. Run scored. I say scored a run. His courtesy runner did. And that one's in there. Yeah, let's check him. He certainly went. Oh, wow. Check swings, ball 1.
I'd have turned around and asked the umpire, why wasn't it a strike?
I agree with you also. I thought it was in there, too.
Can we check? I would say, can we check with somebody to see if you missed that?
Strike called that time. 1-1.
Mercado, if he was still here, he'd get tossed again because, that's unreal.
Curveball, the hat flies off from Oath. And that's been one of the things that's happened his whole career. I remember I talked about him earlier, that start down at Clarksville as a freshman. His hat came off a ton of times that day. Here's the 2-1 to Wheelis. A home run hack, swung right through it. 2-2 now.
Well, and I think Mercado, what he wanted to do, he got out on Monday. You saw Monday look at the dugout, say, give me a fastball. He got it, and he hits it to the gap. 1 hops the fence. Just nobody else responded.
Oh, Weaver with a nice backhand at third. No problem this time. Came up firing. Wasn't even going to wait around. Got him out by 3 steps. There's 2 down now. Here's Ty Hips. He's their second baseman. Got the win in game 1. An RBI double in the first. Walked. Single.
Baseball is not like football where you can force things to happen. You got to be patient and let them come. And I think Greenwood's got enough talent it will. If we're just patient, nobody starts panicking and hits the panic button yet.
Right.
This is going on our 4th conference game.
Yep. That was curveball just missed. Ball 1. He had an RBI single in the 5th, so 2 RBI day for Hips. That fastball he pointed out that it called strike.
Wow. Yep. He must have heard you because he pointed again.
1-1. Wow. Here it comes from Oaf. Curveball's in there for a strike. Good pitch.
It used to be that we could be up here with both windows open and we could secretly say things that we knew they would hear and not get in trouble for it.
Right.
Yeah.
That ball's a little fister. Weaver's got a charge. Gloves. Well done, Hayden.
Good quick inning.
Yes.
Let's go to work.
They went 1, 2, 3 for Oath. Well, last chance for the Bulldogs. It'll be up to Adams, Mitchell, and Weaver scheduled to bat here in the bottom of the 7th. 3 outs left for the Bulldogs. Try to avoid the sweep. They trail 3-1 to Russellville here in Game 2 of this 5A West doubleheader, and we'll bring it to you right after this. Greenwood Sports Center online and the Sports Hog 103.5. Yes, sir.
Chase Presley's thrown 7 pitches and had 7 strikes.
Nice.
Yes. He's done well. Eight pitches, 8 strikes.
We are back here in Greenwood. Last chance for the Bulldogs. 5A West action.
And I was kind of shocked to see Ray. You think if you have a closer or a kid that can come in with a little velocity, change the velocity, the last thing you want to do is, the second time around they say it's hard for a pitcher to have the same kind of success. And what are we going on the 3rd time some of these kids have seen him now?
Yes.
You know, and I know Ray has he's only thrown 78 pitches, throwing all 7 innings, but I would think if there's any kind of trouble whatsoever, they're going to pull him.
Adams is in at second base. He came in the second inning in Carroll's spot, and Adams hit the ball hard. He singled his first time up, lined out to center field. Here's Luke Ray trying to get the complete game. There's a rip right in the hole. Way to go, Adams. Hey, Harrison with a nice day at the plate for the sophomore. A leadoff single.
You know, and if these upperclassmen don't watch it, there's enough fire and hunger and competitiveness in the younger guys that Coach Mercado will keep giving them a chance if they're producing.
Here's J.T. Stanfield in there again. We saw him come in game 1. Let's see if J.T. can get something going here.
One more hit, and it'll be it's got to be Ray's last.
J.T. with the other way, and it's down in the right field. Back-to-back singles, and the Bulldogs have something going here in the bottom of the 7th. Oh, baby, no outs, 2 men on.
McCarty walking out there yet?
Nope. And here's Weaver.
I guess, and that tells me that Russellville doesn't have much pitching.
Stanfield saying, man, I wish I could have done that in game 1. We're still perfect here, even more clutch. Weaver doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 2 today. And there comes a pinch runner over there for Stanfield. Is number 30? No, well, Mitchell just pulled.
Oh, did they re-enter him then?
They may have.
I bet they re-entered
Yep.
him.
So 30's re-entered. Mitchell. First and second, nobody out. Here's Weaver, the senior. Big moment here for him. Let's see if Hayden can get into one. Luke Ray's up on top. Nobody out, bottom 7th.
Back.
And the runners get back as Ray stepped off.
And you can telegraph that. The shortstop went and stood on second. You can't leave that hole over there.
Right. Nobody warming in the Russellville bullpen. That either means if they're going to bring another pitcher in, he's on the field.
They're expecting a bunt.
Here's Weaver. He squares. That's upstairs, ball 1. Good eye from Hayden. Weaver's played a fantastic third base. Saw him a little sketchy in game 1 over there.
You know, hopefully he'll bunt this to third base line or they let him swing away. You know you're going to get a fastball. And just let him hit away. He's hitting the ball hard.
1 ball count to Weaver. He's going to square and bunt again. That's
Oh,
up in the
no.
air, and that's the world's worst thing that could happen. Caught by the first baseman charging. And that's worst case scenario.
Yep. Again, I know we've worked on bunting, but the game situations, guys are going to have to get used to just being able to sacrifice. The
Yeah.
first baseman was on top of him. You know, he should have either let it go or bunted to third.
Yep. Here's Brewer now. He's in the 1 hole. Came in for Caden Brown in the 6th inning. And there's 1 down now. Brewer caught one off the handle, and it's over to the on-deck circle where Oaf's at. Ball 1, or strike 1.
And it's kind of crazy where Ray started off with a lot of off-speed. Now he's gone mainly to his fastballs, and I think that's mainly to make it easy on Willis. But,
Yep.
you know, we're not doing what we should with it.
Here's the 0-1 to Brewer.
I say that we've got 2 hits, but
Right, yeah. There's one lifted foul the other way. 0-2. Brewers in a hole. I say in the 6th inning. He came in the 5th inning for Brown and singled. 0-2 the count. 1 out. Greenwood's got the tying runs on the base paths. Brewer in a hole here. Let's see if he can get something in some green grass. Ray's up on top. Swing and a miss. That's a huge strikeout for Luke Ray. And that brings up Chance Oath, the last chance for the Bulldogs. No pun intended.
well, his first 2 at-bats, he hit the ball hard.
Yes.
We've talked about that. Even his last at-bat of the last game, I mean, he makes good contact. And you got the center fielder playing way deep. He's not going to let anything go over his head. Shallow and left and just straight up and right.
Last chance for the Dogs. Oath is the winning run at the plate. Here it comes. There's a
Oh.
chopper back to the pitcher. Ray off to the mound and over to first base. And the Bulldogs get this, or the Cyclones get the sweep of the Bulldogs. Greenwood had it set up just like they wanted with leadoff singles in the bottom of the 7th. and could get nothing else going from the guys behind. Oh, a heartbreaking sweep here to the Cyclones. Greenwood's going to fall to 4-4 overall on the season. They will fall to 1-3 in conference play. The Cyclones will go to 3-1 in conference play with a huge road sweep here in Greenwood.
Well, and I'm showing us with 8 hits. Is that what you have? I've got Monday with 2, Adams Harrison with 2,
Yep.
Stanfield with 1, Weaver with 1,
Yep.
Brown with 1, and you have Reed with 1, Carroll.
Yes. Yep.
So, but the thing is none of them produced anything. I
The
mean, they were
home run,
hits.
that's it.
That was the home run,
Yeah.
and no one was on base.
Yep.
And we've got to get hits in that situation. And it's not O's fault. It's,
No.
it's the whole team hasn't done that the last couple of games.
Yep.
When people get on base, we got to have big hits. We can't have check swings. We can't have pop ups.
Yep.
We got to have those hits with people on base.
Yep. Well, like you said, a work in progress. Mikado's in the lab getting them mixed up, fixed up. He'll figure it out. And I agree with you, Keith. After a couple of weeks, get spring break games in. These boys, you just got to keep them there mentally, keep them focused and stay positive, and have them work on getting Greenwood swag back. And they'll be ready. Don't give up on this team just quite yet, as the Bulldogs had a lot of life in them. And Coach Mikado, for sure, a fireball, and he'll keep them together as a team for sure. Well, we will take a break, a spring break, if you will, and we won't see you again on the live stream until
Tuesday, Van Buren.
the 30th of March, I believe it is.
30th of March.
Is that
Now-
when the mask mandate is?
Well,
or
I
is
tell you
over?
what, it's the 31st, they said. Actually, we may get you before that. On Monday the 29th, we may try to do some softball as the Southside Lady Mavericks will come to Greenwood.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to schedule that one to see if we can get some softball on. I'll get with Mr. Ferris and the folks between now and then. But we're going to do 5 softball games on radio side to qualify for postseason. So we may see you on the 29th. So stick around and stay tuned for on your social media. And we'll let you know for sure when our next broadcast will be. For sure for baseball, though, it'll be March the 30th. We'll be at Van Buren for a conference doubleheader after spring break. Good luck to the boys as they get the spring break tournament underway. And good next week, and good luck to the softball girls as well, as they'll have a tournament up in Farmington, I believe, this weekend. Keith, fantastic job. It's
I
always a
enjoyed it.
pleasure.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
your insight. Truly a baseball man, Keith Holt. And we look forward to watching these Bulldogs grow as we move on down the season. Sean, thank you very much for live stream.
You betcha.
And Kennedy for filming. Mr. Ferris, always a pleasure. Appreciate you burning the midnight oil for these Bulldogs on Tuesday nights for us, these doubleheaders. And as the Bulldogs drop them both here tonight to Russellville 4-2 in the game 1 and 3-1 in game 2. So it's back to the drawing board for the Bulldogs in these conference standings. I'm Tim Terry. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast tonight. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Be careful. And enjoy your spring break next week. Appreciate you tuning in on Greenwood Sports Center Online and on the River Valley's leader for local live sports,